Where do I even begin with this game? Killing Floor 2 is a sequel to Killing Floor from 2009, which is itself derived from the Killing Floor mod made with Unreal Tournament 2004, not unlike Team Fortress's origins. It's primarily a co-op game for about 6 people, with you and others, no matter the mode, facing off against hordes of not zombies, but mutant drones, clones called Zeds. While I'm not sure if that name is a homage to things such as World War Z, the book, not that god-awful movie, on a basic level, the game is a horde survival game. You have a bunch of classes, all with their own functions and the team makeup and perks, such as the Commando being able to see Zed health bars and invisible Zeds, the Firebug being excellent in crowd control, the Demolicious being best suited for taking down bigger, tougher Zeds, or the SWAT being an outright tank with his counterpart being the Berserker. Though it should be said that while every class has its role, except the Survivalist in my opinion, they are not locked into one specific function. Firebug is fully capable of taking down big Zeds such as Skrakes and Flesh Pounds, as other classes are more suited to it. But is it efficient? Probably not. It could certainly have drawbacks, but nothing that a competent player can't compensate for. Speaking of competence, aside from a lengthy level up and detailed perk system, the combat itself is fairly tactical. The players must balance the weapons they can carry versus their weight, manage money through killing Zeds and picking up weapons to use or sell, as well as ammo. And since the last time I played, a new layer was added in where you could buy upgrades to weaponry, which increase their base damage and weight, or as it looks on the surface, they nerfed all the weapons slightly so that you would have to shell out more money to bring them back to their pre-nerf state. But as I said, that's how it looked on the surface. I honestly could not tell any difference in performance while I was playing in the footage you were watching. The player also has to watch their health, as armor does not protect you from all damage, unless you're the SWAT class. You can heal yourself at any time, but as with the first game, it's more effective to heal others. So it is common in multiplayer to have a healing circle or a medic or both. The other thing you have to pay attention to is the environment. You can weld doors shut, and in some classes, like I believe the support, could even repair them. But Zeds will eventually render an area unsustainable to defend, and trust me, you do not want to be stuck in a corner in any version of Killing Floor. It gets very ugly very quickly, especially on higher difficulties, and with more people increasing the Zed count per wave. The player can also block attacks to reduce damage, but there are plenty of attacks that are more or less unblockable. Oh, before I forget, the player also gains experience to level up. The experience is gained through dealing class-based damage and targeting specific Zeds depending on the character class. Every 5 levels you unlock a 2-choice perk to affect your character build. Thankfully it is not static, so you can experiment, but usually the best perks for a character are unlocked at level 25. So, is there a story? Kind of. It's largely a continuation of the Killing Floor mod story, which itself is a standard sci-fi mad scientist story. Mad scientist goes mad, abuses power and authority, starts cloning his dead son, his wife, and creates an army of bioweapons. The military and such try to stop him, all hell breaks loose, and mad scientist turns himself into the ultimate bioweapon and goes on a rampage. And basically, this time the chaos is spilling out into Paris, and the mad scientist, now known as the Patriarch, is back and uglier than ever, and joined by a stereotypical German fellow mad scientist, Hans Volter, who turned himself into a monster too. Oh, and the King Flesh Pound, who you will see in this video, but screw that guy. But since I last played, more bosses have been added. Specifically the Abomination, who seems to be not unlike King Flesh Pound in that he is a super version of the bloat enemy. And of course, the newest one, the Matriarch. The Patriarch's daughter with a hate boner for Daddy so bad that she turned herself into a monster to kill him. And you, because you're in the way or something. So, what do I personally think about the game? Well, it has really cool music that YouTube hits with copyright nearly every time for some reason. And the game is really fun for a while, especially when you play with others. But after the thrill wears off, you really start to find the flaws in the game. Like how Zeds will spawn right around corners as you're running to get a cheap ambush. Or that the bosses are RNG based for which one you will fight, and the leveling system is only somewhat better than in Killing Floor 1. That being that is less demanding of you, but compensates by having much higher level counts, which become extremely tedious to grind out, even on the highest difficulties. So much so that I just said fuck it at one point and downloaded an infamous cheat map to speed up my level grinding for most of my characters. Because while I liked the game, at the time, I found the grinding for levels to unlock perks to be more obnoxious than fun. And honestly, despite the tactical nature of the game, I largely found it to be a case of turning off your brain and running the Zeds around to round them up and just pick them off as you keep moving, only compensate for fast Zeds like Flesh Pounds and of course the bosses. And after 2 years or so of not playing the game and picking up again, I really don't find my opinions changing on it for the better. If anything, I just find that while playing I don't care. I don't really feel anything worth noting, no rush, no true sense of danger, and I'm more annoyed with the various enemy types and their obnoxious attack designs. Now I'm looking at you, Crawler and Stalker. I don't care enough to experience any new things added to the game, be they alternate modes or new bosses, enemies, or even weapons. That's not the mark of a good game in my opinion. That's the mark of a short-lived waste of time. And while video games by default are a waste of time, you shouldn't feel like your time is actually wasted. After this, I just plan to uninstall Killing Floor 2 again and forget it exists. If I had to give it a rating on a scale of 1 to 5, I'd say a solid average 3. Do I recommend it? Not really. But if you really want to play it, pick it up on a Steam sale. And with that, I'm just going to let the rest of the gameplay play out with its normal volume and everything. I hope you guys all enjoyed this rendition of my thoughts about Killing Floor 2. I hope to turn this into a series. Well, I plan to. Where I just, talk about, be it movies, games, whatever. Give my thoughts and opinions on them and, hope it all goes well. Anyway, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoy.
I found ammo.
Last chance. I have to power down the pod. Protect the area.
Armor here, people. We got a Guy Fawkes here. Stay down, you bastard. I ain't done. Hello, ugly. Oh, that stinks. I can't hear. They got me. Oh. I want to be sure. Shit. Crisp them up. Bagger! Oh. Stay down, you bastard. Incoming flesh pound! I want to be sure.
Exit. The area remains totally secure.
You like that? Crap, look at that one burn. What? We got a Guy Fawkes here. I ain't done.
Fantastic work. Area remains unbreached. Taking down a Scrake comes naturally to you, no? More Zeds on the way. Start to wrap things up, as they say.
Hey, there's ammo over here.
Time's almost up. Vite! Pod's closed. Go make a difference.
Ammo drop over here. Grist them up. Flashpound! This is not good. It's gone berserk. I ain't done. Oh. You don't know when to stop. Oh. Crap, look at that one burn. Oh! Oh, incoming flashpound! Want to be sure. Oh. Shit! Oh, that stinks! You like that? Oh! Flashpound! Crap, look at that one burn. Oh, crap, it's gone mental! I ain't done! Oh! Stay down, you bastard! We got a Guy Fawkes here.
Hey, thanks for supporting me on Patreon. You guys are awesome.